Rain, a beast tamer, is being insulted by the hero's party and is ultimately fired because they consider him a useless burden who slows down everyone. Astonished to find out what his comrades thought of him, he's heartbroken and reminisces, only to notice that he was always treated badly. He had some bad choices of friends. Seeing Rain sad, a group of kids comes by and cheers him up. They explain how he's kind towards them, whereas Arios, the head of the rest of the party, are always rude. That's why they want to be like Ryan and earn their bread as an adventurer. Adventurers live as migratory birds and die in freedom. A dream life pattern of every guy. This sounds interesting to Rain, and he decides to join the Adventurers Guild. He's welcomed by the receptionist, Natalie, who explains what being an adventurer is all about. Rain is completing the entrance test of killing 10 monsters when he hears a scream. Reaching the source, he finds a girl cornered by a D-ranked killer tiger. Being the gentleman he is, Rain attacks the tiger to attract it toward himself and tells the girl to use the opportunity to escape. The girl, however, gathers all her strength and hits the tiger and collapses along with it. She knows how to go out in style. Rain holds her and notices that she's hungry. While feeding her, Rain notices that she belongs to the rarest tribe among the ultimate species, the cat tribe, renowned for their enhanced physical strength. She introduces herself as Kanade, and since they seem to connect well, she offers Rain to tame her, and by successfully doing so, he gains a friend as well as a comrade. Rain clears the test and is accepted by Guild as an adventurer. He decides to raise funds for an inn, so he starts looking for quests immediately. Rain and Kanade are approached by a man who is surprised to see a cat girl. One of the drawbacks of having a beautiful girl is that every guy tries to shoot his shot. He belittles Rain, which enrages Kanade. Rain ends up doing a bet with him, with Kanade as the price. Rain wins easily, which leaves everyone shocked, including Rain himself. Kanade explains that when you make a contract, the master gets a proportionate strength of the tamed species. Seeing the commotion, Natalie comes by and knocks that person out. Kanade and Ryan are collecting herbs when she hears the noise of a merchant being robbed by a gang. Ebon Fangs. Rain jumps in to rescue the old merchant. It was his time to shine. He gracefully subjugates all the bandits. The old man thanks them and advises them to escape before other bandits come for revenge. Instead, Rain decides to take out all the bandits. Upon raiding their base, Kanade runs back to call for reinforcements while Rain uses his unparalleled skill to tame numerous bees, having paralysis poison, and uses them to disable the enemy. Meanwhile, members of the hero's party fail miserably at a quest and blame the new beast tamer for it. He tells them no beast tamer can tame more than 2 animals at once, but they refuse to consider Rain more capable than average. Kanade arrives with reinforcements and starts transporting the bandits, but C-rank monsters, king lizards, kept as pets in the cave, go on a rampage. Kanade and Rain hold them back as everyone evacuates. Eventually, they come out victorious again. Afterwards, Rain is promoted to E rank and gets rewarded by the guild because he played an important role in the subjugation of the gang. Both of them celebrate and book a room in an inn. Rain is hesitant about sleeping in the same room as Kanade, but Kanade insists, saying that she trusts him and that he's not like the others. Every girl seems to think that their guy is somehow different and is always proved wrong. They're offered a quest involving a brute who forces every person who crosses the bridge to a fight. A battle junkie probably. Nobody was hurt, but this incident continues to affect the transport across the river. Upon reaching the bridge, Rain and Kanade come across a dragonoid, Tanya. She's looking for strong opponents for duels and challenged Rain, and Kanade accept the challenge. It's an intense fight between the two ultimate species. Tanya burns Kanade's precious tail, which enrages her. Rain asks Kanade to keep her occupied for 3 minutes and gathers poisonous birds. The birds neutralize Tanya, and she admits defeat. Rare for a girl to admit her loss. Rain makes her promise not to cause such a scene again. He keeps her identity as the culprit a secret and tells her to stay away from the city, but instead she decides to follow them as it'll serve as better training. Kanade is already jealous of having another girl in the party, but she agrees. Tanya tells Rain to tame her as well, which turns out to be successful. On the other hand, the hero's party is having trouble, so they decide to pull Rain back. Now as a party of 3, they get a quest to exterminate slimes. Tanya and Kanade get along well and fight coordinately. This puts Rain at ease. Throughout the quest, he keeps surprising them with his exceptional skills. They discover that Rain gained magical prowess due to his contract with Tanya. She trains Rain and improves his magical control. Tanya is known by the townfolk as the girl who dresses like a dragon. All of us have our own kinks. Both Kanade and Tanya have adapted to the town and the people like them. At dinner, Rain tells them about his peaceful and serene village from where he learned taming. When Rain was 12, the village was destroyed in a monster attack. He was rescued by an adventurer and worked at an inn to survive until Arios, the hero, invited him to join their party. He thought by joining the hero's party he would be doing something meaningful, but in reality, Arios only wanted a pawn to work for him, and turned out to be pretty sad. During a quest, Rain tells them to keep their guard up, but Tanya gets too carried away. Rain rushes to save her, but gets injured in the process. This upsets Tanya a lot as she is embarrassed to face him, but Rain comforts her by saying that he's happy that she reflected on her actions. Rain comes across Arios and his party, and at first sight, they start to badmouth him. Tanya and Kanade come to his rescue while Arios explains that they're having difficulty conquering the Lost Woods and they need Rain's help. At first, he declines, but when they tell them that they require the Shield of Truth hidden in the forest to defeat the Demon King, he agrees. Tanya and Kanade stop Arios and tell him to kneel before Rain and apologize, making Arios furious. He starts to insult Kanade and Tanya by calling them Rain's pets. At this, Rain couldn't contain himself and ends up attacking him. Arios is flabbergasted and says how could he hit the hero? I've heard about self-centered people, but this guy takes it to a whole new level. Arios asks for a fight between the two parties. The battle ensues and Kanade fights Agath, the knight. She overpowers him from the start and parries his special move and knocks him unconscious with only one hit. Meanwhile, Tanya's fighting Leanne and Mina. She bullies them by canceling their magic and then scared them unconscious. They deserve this for making fun of an innocent soul. Rain is facing Arios and commends his sword skills, though he was nowhere near Rain and beat him like a bag. He uses bees to paralyze him and scare the shit out of Arios by hitting the ground beside him, making him faint. He feels happy to have taken his revenge. Later, the party accepts the hero's request to retrieve the treasure from the monster deep in the forest. Rain and the party enter the forest only to notice that the map made by the hero's party is no longer usable. Rain uses the ability Assimilate to transfer his consciousness to a bird and search from the sky. He finds a route but notices themselves walking in a circle. Tanya uses her magic to locate the source of illusionary magic and then tells Kanade to split the tree, but Rain is against cutting the tree. Just when she's about to hit the tree, a fairy reveals herself and tells them to leave. I can understand how disturbing uninvited guests can be. The monster that Arios talked about turned out to be a fairy. Rain tries to earn her trust by taking her attack, and upon finding that Rain and his party pose no threat to the forest, she introduces herself as Sora, a druid from the ancient spirit tribe. She refuses to turn off the barrier as it hides the road that leads to the fairy village. Probably they're super introverts. She hands them the shield because it was part of the pact between the hero and the fairies. Rain inquires about what is troubling Sora. Hesitant to answer, Sora is coaxed by Rain, Kanade, and Tanya to talk about her twin sister Runa and their job to protect and maintain the barriers that lead to the fairy village. All was well between the two until they exited the barrier for personal reasons and encountered a monster affiliated with the Demon King army. Rain then details that the monster Sora and her sister Runa encountered was called a Shadow Knight. Although weaker than an ultimate species like them, it has tricky characteristics like magic nullification, meaning only physical attacks can harm it. Sora confirms it and continues her story where the Shadow Knight demanded that she lower the barrier, but in fear she fled and was told by the leader to abandon Runa. Hearing Sora's plea, Rain vows to help rescue Runa from the Shadow Knight, causing Sora to embrace Rain tearfully. They locate the Shadow Knight and ambush him. Tanya secures Runa and flies away to a safe place with her. On the other hand, Rain and Kanade keep the knight occupied. He's angered and goes berserk, destroying the trees. Rain distracts him with insects and uses the window to unleash Kanade's power using the skill boost. Kanade hits him with all her strength and creates a hole in him. She made him look for his soul. Tanya inquires Rain about boost because she thought it was a lost skill. They take Runa to her sister and she thanks all of them for saving her sister. The sisters turn out to have opposite personalities, where Sora was calm and composed, and Runa was chaotic. They tell how they were thinking of leaving the forest, as they can't live with those who abandoned Runa. Tanya and Kanade offer them to tag along, but Runa wants to make a contract with Rain. I can't comprehend what girls see in this guy. The magic formula is a bit complicated, but he is successful. Rain meets Arios and gives him the shield. They're surprised that he was able to pull this off. They offer Rain to join the party once again, but he refuses. Rain explains how the hero limitlessly increases his strength by learning skills throughout his life. Runa points out that he's very much like the hero, as he gains strength limitlessly by making contracts. Rain's magic was enhanced through a contract with Tanya. Therefore, his equipment is no longer practical and he requires new stuff. They go out in town to look for a blacksmith. Sora and Runa are afraid of people but are surprised by watching Tanya and Kanade interact so freely. Extroverts have always been creatures of awe for introverts. That's pretty true. They find the best shop for weaponry in the town, which is owned by a dwarf named Gantz. As they look for a suitable weapon, due to Rain's superior observation, he notices that something is missing from each weapon. He asks Gantz about this, and he explains that this is a test for his customers, so that the best adventurers get first-class weapons. The weapons on sale are mass-produced normal weapons, and only those who see through them are given the real deal. Gantz agrees to make a custom weapon for Rain, but he's lacking the materials as his mountain has gone dry. They suspect that someone is stealing from the mine. Rain agrees to take the quest and investigate the mine with a weapon made by Gantz as the reward. On the way to the mine, they stop at a lake to relax. The girls start to play in the lake water and Rain goes away on lookout duty. He hears Kanade scream and runs over to find them in the water. The luckiest coincidence any guy could ask for. They tell him to act normally as he didn't do it deliberately. Upon reaching the mine, Rain concludes that there's a beast tamer among their enemy by observing the strange movements of a bird. Some goons come out only to get knocked out, but Rain warns them to keep their guard as the thieves are adventurers. They enter the mine and are showered with attacks while they were still in the shaft. Runa and Sora blocked the attacks and captured a few thieves, while Kanade and Tanya attacked the remaining and subjugated them. Rain is facing the Beast Tamer, who calls upon the monster Behemoth. Normal Beast Tamers cannot tame monsters due to their hostility towards humans, but he had found him when he was a baby and took care of it. Therefore, Behemoth had no hostility towards him. He started attacking, and the mine started to break, getting them killed alongside yourself, as expected of a dumb thief. Rain orders the girls to evacuate with the other thieves. Kanade returns and captures the Beast Tamer, but he refuses to stop Behemoth. Rain overrides his control with his own to calm Behemoth down, but due to constant egging by the Tamer, he attacks him, and Rain ends up killing him. All the thieves turn out to be Gantz's previous customers who are unhappy because he sold them normal quality products. Gantz reflects on his actions and finds his fault. Rain cheers him up by telling him he was only possessive for his weapons. To make up for the trouble, Gantz decides to sell his top weapons to normal people as well. On the other hand, Arios rejects all the candidates as he was unable to find anyone who could match Rain's strengths. Somewhere else, Rain is hanging out with Sora and Runa. Hopefully, Kanade will teach him a lesson for cheating on her. They discuss various things, and Sora is disappointed as Rain doesn't appear to have gained any power from their contract. While walking around the town, they come across a noble who tries to kidnap Sora and Runa. He introduces himself as Edgar, the son of the town's lord. Rain steps in and refuses to let him do his way. Keeping up the good guy act must be pretty hard. Edgar orders his knights to take them by force, but they're humiliated in the middle of the market by Rain. Edgar threatens to hurt the townspeople, but Rain uses his new skill, multiple incantations, to defeat them simultaneously. Sora and Runa are happy that Rain gained a useful skill from them. People inform them about Edgar's cruelties and advise them to leave the town, but they refuse to leave all the people in danger and decide to teach them a lesson. After noticing how the knights refuse to register a complaint against Edgar, Rain is sure that the knights have been bribed. On his way back, he's stopped by Stella, vice captain of the knights. She explains how most of the knights, including Captain Gillett, are rotten, and she wants to work with Rain to punish Edgar for his evils. You know, Rain should really just register as a harem instead of a party already. Rain devises a plan and gathers all the dirty knights by spreading a rumor that the proof of their corruption is hidden in a warehouse. When all the knights assemble inside the warehouse to search for it, Rain takes out all of them with his new gauntlet. Stella asks Rain to let her handle the captain, and she skillfully teaches him true chivalry. Edgar is furious upon hearing about Gillett's failure. Arios arrives and tells him Rain won't be defeated easily and gives Edgar a cursed ring that will kill its target instantly. Kanade and Tanya had tagged along with Stella and the righteous knights to go to the Lord's mansion to investigate. The guards don't let them in and call for reinforcements, and fighting ensues. Rain, along with Sora and Runa, use this distraction to sneak into the basement to evacuate the people who are held by the Lord. They notice another magic signature equal to that of an ultimate species. Looks like another cutie's being added to the harem. Rain tells them to rescue the citizen, and he goes to check on that magical response. He's worried that it's an ace hidden by Edgar or if it's a hostage. Rain finds a child demigod being held captive in the prison. Her name is Nina. Edgar made her wear a slave collar by threatening to kill her friends. Ever since then, he's been hitting and torturing Nina whenever he felt bad. This man is seriously some kind of sadistic maniac. Rain tries to dispel the slave collar, and after some effort, he successfully does it. After teleporting the hostages to a safe location, Sora and Runa come to Kanade and Tanya's aid. Stella joins them and they proceed to capture Edgar. In the hall, they run into Rain and are surprised to see him carrying Nina. They like Nina a lot, and Kanade is captivated by her beautiful tail. She probably has a thing for tails. They catch the Lord while fleeing with evidence of his corruption. Edgar jumps in and uses the cursed ring that Arios gave him. A Grim Reaper appears and kills Rain, but he's unfazed because of his skill that nullifies any instant status effects. Edgar's hatred resurrects a demon sealed in the ring that flies away to destroy the town. Rain identifies the demon as the one who destroyed his village. He refuses to let him carry on with his massacre. They pursue the demon and confront him. As the fight starts, they hit him with their epic combined attack, but the demon walks out of it easily. He says 5 versus 1 is unfair and summons some demon dogs. Fair enough. The dogs keep on spawning and Kanade is having trouble dealing with them. They hit the demon with another exceptionally strong combo, but he is unscathed. Such an ungentlemanly gesture. He could have at least acted a little hurt to commend the girls for their effort. The demon summons flying monsters as well and flies away to destroy the town. Regardless of revealing their identity, Sora and Runa propose to teleport the townspeople to a safe location. At first they're reluctant, but end up trusting them. The adventurers also come to help Rain and hold the monsters back. The heroes' party refuses to take part in protecting the city, so the adventurers take matters into their own hands. Nina feels useless as she's being protected by others. She arrives to help Rain just when he was struggling with instant teleport. Nina helps him approach the demon, and Rain overrides his control over the monsters, causing them to attack the demon and tear him to shreds. Even after doing their best, the town did take some damage. It turned out that people already knew that Tanya was a dragonoid. Kanade helped the people in repairing buildings. Stella was appointed the captain of Knights. She informed Rain that the culprits had been transported to the capital for judgment. Knights had asked the guild for help in keeping peace in the city during the chaos. The guild appreciates Rain for his services and promotes him to C rank. Nina insists on staying with them and offers Rain to tame her. I hope no one suspects him to be a lolicon. Now, as a harem of party of 6, they start looking for a house. Natalie showed them several houses, but they were not up to the requirements. The last one turns out to be perfect and fulfilled their every need. However, there was something fishy about it. Natalie tells them that the house is haunted. At least they were more sensible than all the families in horror movies. Kanade is terrified of ghosts, but she steals her resolve. They decide to take a tour first, but upon entering the living room, paranormal activities start. A female ghost appears in front of them. Runa and Sora try to purify the evil, but to no use. They notice that she can't attack them, so the ghost tries to scare Kanade, but it backfires. She admits her defeat, and Rain asks for a conversation, which surprises her. She introduces herself as Tina Holy and reveals her tragic story of how she was murdered during a maid job in another city. Eventually, Rain offers her the chance to live with them, and with that, a party of 7 people is formed. Later, Rain returns home with Kanade and enjoys a feast for dinner. Before digging in, Rain reflects on how fortunate he is to have met all of his party members, as well as a flashback to his parents, and looks forward to whatever comes next. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.